And here we go. Let's try again. Dan, over to side B. Yeah, you do get to stab the child, which is possibly one of the reasons why they changed the stabbing behavior. There we go. Get the nice low ceilings. This looks like the better frame for the start. And you get good video of a NES, so there are RGB mods that you can put on the consoles. It's actually a little bit easier with the Famicom than with the NES. It already has a conveniently compatible plug that you can use for the outputs. I got a blue jar there, we're going to skip over that. No overworld lag, it's a very small effect. And mostly up by Maze Island that you see it. But for whatever reason, they took out the animated water, but it causes lag to not animate on the US release. It's really strange. Alright, making sure our sword is working there. And let's go grab that shield spell again. Now, because of the level up system being different, it is, I think, not as important that I get the P-bag drops. I would like to have them, because the more P-bags, the merrier early on to get more attack levels. But you're not as completely hosed if you don't get the P-bag and Palace one. Do the controls feel the same? Link mostly plays the same. You're going to have different levels between the versions. So that's going to change your feel for a couple sections. And a couple of the bosses behave differently as well, and you'll notice that those have some very distinctive alterations. Over to the east. Yeah, the AV Famicoms like the top loader, but unlike the US market, which got worse inputs or outputs as the revisions went by, the AV Famicom got better outputs. So it actually has a nicer picture than the original Famicom did. Good Goriah there. Let's see if we have better bubble luck this time around. I certainly don't want any bubble trouble here. This direction is more dangerous because the bubbles always bounce you to the right. So you more likely are going to be bounced into a pit there, going to that side. So let's use it. Time for Palace 1, where you're going to find out a very unfortunate fact, and that is this version of the game has the world's slowest elevators. Oh, they're so slow. Stay up there. This version of this Dalfois can actually chase me in here. I should see him early when we come back. There he is. US version, he's stuck to the edge of those blocks, so he can't go under that overhang. I think these are like Mass Effect elevators in terms of their speed. They're not, you know, necessarily trying to hide load times like modern games do with elevators, but they're patient. They take their time. I'll take attack 3 there. Our power is continuing to grow. Just like I do in the US release, I'm going to save that stealth was for later. And my plan here is that I want to get the P-Bag drop on a monster that's worth less experience. So I'm not losing as much as getting the P-Bag on an Iron Knuckle. Who, by the way, are pretty beefy in this version. The Iron Knuckle AI got heavily toned down for the US release. And so they spend a while before attacking. This one they go all out almost immediately. Until you have attack 8 and you can one-shot them means that you are going to have to account for the sorting. Back down we go. The elevators are so much slower in this version. It actually changes some of the setups for the room entries because monsters that are on screen and can start taking actions will actually be considerably farther into their AI on this release compared to the US one. Especially noticeable in places like Palace 2. Alright, Theatrics, have a good night. And pleasant dreams to you. Here's attack 4. So the way the levels work is that they get more and more expensive. Doesn't matter which levels you picked, only how many levels that you've had. So by deferring our non-attack levels a little bit, as a result, our life and magic levels are going to be more costly. Are the anti-fairies slower? I think they're the same speed. There's more of them. There's a couple rooms that they took an anti-fairy out in the US version. And yeah, the colors are different. You'll notice that the later palaces especially are going to look very different. Stay there. Let's see if we get the lucky P-Bag. 50% chance of getting a P-Bag drop here. Nice. Attack 5. I believe you cannot ferry through doors in Famicom, but since I have to get all the keys for this category, it's something that I've not really thought about testing out. So even by that second swing, that Iron Knuckle already going at me. What do we get? The double P-Bag. Nope, red jar. Well, I got one of the 2 P-Bags there, so we'll have attack 6 at the end of this palace. Back here, horse. You need more stabbing. Oh, the screams. The bosses like to scream a lot. Here we go. Palace 1's done. Six attack in. We are headed down to the south. The red things are fairies, by the way, if you're wondering what the enemy colors mean. The tan ones are small, The blue ones are the big enemies, and the red enemies, or the red things, are the fairies. Yeah, if you get double P-Bag, you have one more attack level there. But ultimately, let's think about it as like losing like 300 experience or so. It's actually not that significant. Alright, Evan. Have a good night. And pleasant dreams to you. Dan stabbing the trophy. Gonna head on to town number 2 here. Trophy for the soloist White Mage. No White Mage is more solo than Dan was tonight. Next, I have to be pretty quick with the townspeople. They all move much faster. You'll especially notice it with the health and magic refill people. Like, they will sprint around. I am now awake, and I now have the jump spell. I kind of like the old men talking. It's like a really small thing that you realize that you're missing in the US release when you go back to it. Alright, down we go. Be weird here because I'm typically getting level ups from the early encounters, but you don't. Level upping is totally different here. Alright, we're through. Unlike the US release, those things don't drain experience. All experience draining is not in this version. So there's another kind of like really small thing that's interesting as a change, like the jackal knives and the dragon heads and the bonefish and the birds all drain XP on the US release. So it's a little bit more painful to get those early game monsters if you are having a problem like dodging things. So we have our friend Bagu, able to vouch for us. Go on. And head down to Death Mountain. Kind of think about taking a life level pretty soon here just to have a little bit of extra safety. Oh, it is really nice getting attacks 7 and 8 done quickly. I don't know if I'd say the US release is harder. There's definitely differences in there, and there are things in this version that are more difficult, like Dark Link is way tougher in this version of it. I'll have to see if my newer Dark Link strats actually work on Famicom or not. Just spamming attack actually does not work all that well in the battle at the end of the game. You have to kind of legit do the fight. And I think the leveling system could be easier or harder depending on what choices you make. Like, you could very easily pick some bad choices in this one. Whereas US kind of guides your path a lot more because the ramping costs of levels mean that you can't really get that unbalanced unless you really try. I do know about you. Let me cross. My PB is similar to this one. I've not done this for a couple months, Nemesis Zero. So we'll have to see what later in the game looks like for the PB. My shins! They were hugged. Kinda like the charm of the Famicom version for the sounds. I mean, the big thing for me for Famicom sound is just how much like one-off interesting stuff's in there in terms of the chirps and squeaks. That you don't really get with the US one. It's like, okay, it's kind of cool they got this new stuff in there. Well, some of the things that make it easier is that if you kind of know what you're doing with the leveling system, it is very powerful taking the levels in an order like this. You've also got a little bit less stun on things, so you're picking up things with your sword instead of having to freeze in place with them. Got a better hint for the hidden wall in Palace 5, like, there's a couple of niceties. But I would definitely say that that Dark Link difference is a really big one. Barbara's also a lot harder than this one. She's got a very long neck. Take the life level. Let's get the little bit of safety there. I know I should probably take the attack 8, which would get me one-shotting the red gators at that point. But I think we're not putting that off too much. Just a little bit. In we go. It's almost hammer time. Oh, those things one-shot at 7. I thought they were attack 8 as well. Good to know. Oh, the elevator. The world's slowest elevators. Actually, I get the XP for that. I was thinking for a second to make sure it wasn't going to soft lock on the P-bag pickup. And we'll take attack 8 there. So that is attack maxed out. Hopefully I will not accidentally take attack 9. I would feel really bad about that. So just like the US release, if you take over level 8, you don't get the level, you get a 1-up instead. But because the cost of levels keeps increasing, you really are kind of forfeiting the opportunity to get some other level up permanently. At least in the speedrun. For a casual playthrough, you can just grind a whole bunch and pull out another level, but on this one, there's not really a good substitute. As far as I know, the soft locks kind of work the same. there's not really much difference in terms of how it handles simultaneous events. So you gotta be careful with screen transitions primarily. Go ahead, grab that magic container, and let's get out of here. Death Mountain is done. What do I want next? At some point I need to get some magic levels, otherwise I'm not going to be able to do things like cast Reflect in Palace 4. We got a little bit of time before that. Wondering if I should take another life level here first, or start taking magic too. Hey, Happy Winter. Thanks for the good wishes there. Hope you enjoyed Solo White Mage. I was just really glad that it actually came in pretty far underestimate compared to my expectation on it. And I'm really glad that Chaos was first try. Although Dan did his best to try to make it not so. I think if I did not get Chaos on that Cure 4 cycle, what I probably would have done is try to just like mute or Bane sort him. Just go for the 3 and 56. I could have gotten like 50 or 60 tries in, so it wouldn't have been that improbable to have it work. But it would have been a little bit sad. Chaos was down to the last hit, like, several rounds in a row. I've got the medicine. Couple of the items look pretty different, like the medicine, the trophy, like, just like small graphical changes that, if you've seen the US one, it's like, is that the same item? It's like you gotta squint at it for a little bit. It's like, oh yeah, it's probably the same. I've got a tiny doll. I got a peep bag. Now, wait, was it the easiest on GBA? Yeah, GBA, because you have the items that you can pick up from the 15 puzzle. All of the character classes that struggle in the early game from lack of spells have a great option. So you can get Blue Fangs and kill the wizards pretty fast. Red and White Fangs that you pick up go to Astos, and you don't have to struggle nearly as much. Like, Solo Thief is like real quick on GBA. There we go. Got my jump selected at. I'm about to get the best stab that stabbing has ever known. Hey, Chris the Key, welcome in. I hope you're having a good day at. I hope you're prepared. For when we jump, we are going to press stab. It'll be amazing. This game feels totally different after having down stab. It's like not even comparable with the way that mobility-wise Link works. It's like having no ground game until you get that. Like the NES battle music, if you're talking about the dungeons, or particularly the caves, Yeah, I kind of agree with that. There's a couple of music tracks that are different for the game overall. Thankfully, Grand Palace is the same. That is such a great song. Okay, I wouldn't get out of the way. Alright, so we'll probably have to burn an encounter here. Let's do that. Just avoiding any fights along the way to this boulder zone. I'll go ahead and grab my heart container. Stabbed right through the heart. So I play Famicom version, then I go back to the US version, and I try to stab an item, it just bounces off of it. It's like, that didn't work. Alright, we'll get a good path through. Now I'll take the reset there. I'll wait for you. Yep, you're just gonna be jerks. I get it. As long as I don't get a swamp encounter, it's fine. We'll only take the road encounters. And head into Palace 2. Hey, Simply Jeff, welcome in. And yeah, Miri-chan, it was really great getting the soft locks kind of fixed in the randomizer. I think it is a good community service for the value that it provides. So don't take Attack 9. Yes, you may be wondering, aren't those ropes in the US version? For whatever reason, they're blue Octoroks here, but there is the rope graphic. It's only in the Grand Palace, though. And that might be just because they didn't have the graphic done when they were doing this palace, and so there's a little bit of difference. Or it could be because, you know, maybe it just didn't fit for whatever reason in how they did it, and so it's only on side A. Whatever it is. They are blue Octoroks here. But functionally exactly the same as the ropes. Yeah, one sad bit is that Guma, who is the boss of Palace 5, was a US-only creation. So in this version of the game, you get, well, the boss of this palace a second time. And they did buff him up a little bit, but it's basically the same thing. You knock his head off a couple times, and then you stab him, and it's kind of sad compared to the fun Guma fight. Wait a minute. One more floor up. The elevator is so slow. I thought that was 2 floors. It's like, that doesn't look correct. But I waited long enough. It's like, oh yeah, it's really slow. Where are you going, bots? Into the marinara sauce, that's fine. Through one of the scary rooms with the bots. No hugs. This room's totally messed up by the slow elevator. Means you can't get through the Octorok ropes in time to avoid that cycle. Whereas that's no problem on the US version. Good blocks. We'll see if we're on pace. I think we should have enough experience at this rate to get the level up before the boss. And we've got the Power Glove. It's so bad. Also, now we're playing with power. Moving slow. I'll take one more life level. I'll do magic after this, though. So we're at life 4. Next one's going to be magic 2 that I'll pick up. Like at some point I need some magic levels to be able to cast Reflect and do the fairy spells. But right now I'm just using it for life, and you only have one cast, even if you get a level for 2. So I think where it evens out whether or not you got P bags in Palace 1. Because you got basically halfway through this next level coming up with 1 P bag. You can't quite get the level with 2 P bags. And you're into level with 0 P bags. So regardless of which path you went down. You'll have 10 level ups done when you reach the boss. Excuse me, camera guy. Keep on springing through. But a red jar, no help whatsoever for our P-Bag quest. And Palace 2 boss is done. There's some benefits to going hard on attack early. There we go. Palace 2 finished off. Take Magic 2 there. Let's head to the east. I got caught one step away. Hoping to sneak through there onto the road section. At least we didn't get the swamp fight. So that was 2 encounters there. Counter, please. Oh, come on. Thank you. And on the graveyard one. Well, didn't get the reset that I was hoping for, but that is okay. You cannot take the King's Tomb there because the King's Tomb is not there. That is actually the red jar refill on that center grave. The King Tomb's off in like the southwest corner, I think. That's why I was hoping to get the encounters reset outside the graveyard, and then clean them up inside to avoid that fight. Okay, in we go. Alright, so that's Red Iron Knuckle. We do not get the nice, convenient free refills that I normally have in Palace 3 here. So it actually starts off a little bit more challenging than the US one. So US you get a life and a magic refill pretty early in. You don't need to rely much on the red jar drops to give you extra resources. But here we will see where they happen. I'll still get a magic level at some point. Going for magic 3 next. And a magic refill basically gives me a life refill as well, thanks to life spell. Starts off blue, yeah, the colors being different is a thing. Throws me off a lot on like where I am in palaces, because I'm used to the color palettes that the NES version has. I don't know what that sound was, but it sounded angry. I think somebody's neck may have gotten broken. There we go. Alright, scary room. Take the magic level here. Exploding elephants. I hope that I get a lot of experience for that. And one jackhammer later, we've got the raft. 22, I am probably not going to get a life refill anytime soon, so let's take that. Let's take a cautious trip back. Let them all enjoy the marinara sauce. That's probably the second scariest room in the game for pits. Got a key. Right, that tackles a half tile off where I want it to be, but that's okay. Means I'm slightly slower right there. Don't think that's a version difference, just based on very precisely how long it takes you to get through that room and what direction you're facing when the jackals spawn. You'll get certain patterns. And I've got particular heights that I want them to be at, so I have gaps to squeeze in on those jumps. Alright, 9,000 there. That should be good. I believe this guy's worth... Well, he's worth at least 150 in this version. I think he's 300 instead of 301. That is plenty. Oh, he's also dead. Good Iron Knuckle fight! I was like, why am I not hitting him? Answer is because he's already exploded. And that is Palace 3. Take a life 5 there. Good, we actually got the good pattern for that. Alright, so I'll see what happens in the graveyard on the way back. Again, the King's Tomb is not in the middle. So you don't have that really convenient reset. But on the way up, there should be enemies chasing me by the time I get to that stretch. So I can reset there. There we go. That worked pretty well. We are headed to the east. Notice Link facing the camera on the raft. That is different in the US release. And it's time for us to get fired up. I think because I collected extra experience in Palace 3, I'm a level ahead of the previous times I've done this, but I don't know how much of a difference that makes. Because anytime you go through a palace, you could end up, being a little bit offset of where the crystal place level up is, and that'll change whether you get a level up ahead or behind. Yeah, fire is actually less useful in this version. There's a couple of enemies that are only damaged by fire in the US version, like the spiders and the basilisks. But that's the US version. This version, nothing requires fire to damage it. And so unfortunately, it means that we do not have good spider springs, and that is a shame. Like you'll notice in this place, this guy actually takes a hit when I go and stab him, and that would not have happened on the US version. Fairy! Well, Fairy's gonna make it tough to get there without any more fights, but let's see. Oh, nice. They were patient. Fairies actually are undesirable for most of the time on speedrunning for enemy manipulations because they move very unpredictably. And you can't bait them nearly as well as you can for regular enemies. You can, though. Stab a child. Right through the head. To be fair, the child was asking for it. Got a tiny doll. I know that this version throws off the encounter timing a little bit for this walk. Yeah, didn't get that. That's a shame. Means we're gonna have to improv this stretch coming up. Good, first try on that skip. little bit early. Try again. Here we go. Second try on that one. And yeah, the kid is a quest item, basically. So I'm going to turn him in on this town to get the Reflect spell. Although they misspelled it Reflex. Pretty much the only English that is bad in this release. They did a really good job with the English everywhere else. And down we go. How is the upstab? Limp. Limp and unsatisfying. It has been collected. We'll also collect our Reflect spell here. One more screen to go. I think the argument that they tried to make for it was that you're not stabbing the child, you're stabbing the ropes that are tying the child down, which is still like a really terrible situation. There are many things that are wrong with that statement. There we go, Reflex acquired. Let's go hit Palace 4 up. Alright, first try on that one. Flinched. Let's try again. Second try on that one. And then this walk. Good luck. Oh, the dodges. Almost. It's a really good start, though. We got one encounter to here. Can maybe squeeze it through. Nope, 2 encounters. Still pretty good. That was a respectable Palace 4 section for this trip. And we're back over to Maze Island. The most amazing island of them all. I will be denied my spider bounce. Let's take the magic container. But I'm still upset about the spider. Just not satisfying. Because those things are invulnerable to your regular sword in the US version. And because they like to make these really big jumps, they can kind of fling you into the air with a good bounce. It feels really good when it works. Excuse me, Red Iron Knuckle. I was not expecting you to be in my feet. Alright, so the big question here is going to be, how many intentional deaths do I take? The route kind of, for the US version, plots out doing 3 intentional deaths. But often I'll only do 2, that way I can bank up life for a Grand Palace, which is definitely advisable in this version. But maybe I should bank 2 instead of just 1. We'll see what my magic ends up looking like at the end of the stretch. Oh, red jar there is gonna help. I'm pretty sure I can bank 2 if I want to. So you're basically losing time compared to the Death Warps. You have to walk back across this room. But if I can be more aggressive in the later palaces, then that probably is a net win for at least one of those. Good jackhammer. Let's take Magic 5. And let's take some boots. Now have some holes in them, but you know what? They're still perfectly serviceable boots. You don't like the oof sound? I mean, if you were punched in the face with a hammer, you'd probably say oof as well. Wow, that guy's a really frisky one. Alright, there is not 2 anti-fairies here in the US version, so I have to improv this whole bit. Just trying to find a reasonably good path through there. Avoid pulling these heads up too high. Alright, we're good. Risky Wizrobes. More jackal heads. Right, once again, there's a half tile high. Actually, no, that's 1 tile high. That's a bit easy to deal with. I don't mind being a full tile off nearly as much. Doesn't mess with your perception when it is on a even boundary, but if it's like halfway in between 2 tiles, that Zelda 1 feel of like, is this gonna hit me or not? Just not sure. Good. Do I have enough magic if I cast life here? I'm actually not sure. I'm gonna hold off on this life as long as I can. Well, especially if I get anti-fairied like that. That will hurt my magic totals. Zelda 1 very much exploits the half-tile mechanic. It's really cool to watch people that can precisely line up with those half-tiles quickly. And how much better it makes the game once you get at least even like somewhat adept at it. Right, I am planning to take some marinara sauce here. That'll be 1 intentional death in this palace. Means I banked 2 lives compared to what I could have had. this sauce? It is delicious. Thanks, Miss Rope. Just hanging out in the elevator for me. Also, no way we're getting 1,700 experience, so don't need to worry about getting any encounters here. Of course, red jar. Always when you don't need it, you will 100% get it. Yes, I'm going to the opposite side here because it's actually one tile shifted over, so he's much more likely to teleport onto you on the right side. Also have a very different looking boss for there. I like this one compared to the US one, but some people prefer the US Karak. Regardless, he is dead. Palace 4's done. Take life 6. Well, I should do the strat that I've been doing with Palace 5 before Heart Container. That's going to throw the splits off by a little bit. Just to let you know that it's coming. We'll be picking up a lot of time on this one, hopefully. But I'll have to give some of it back on the one after it. That's just because I'm moving around where I'm grabbing an item. What I like about the Karak and the Famicom version is just like how much more detail he has. Like the angle's a little bit different as well, but I noticed like just like the robe style looks a lot better in this. I would have gotten a blue jar. That's fine. The important thing is enough magic to get through here and to cast jump afterwards. Also, do not forget the key. That's also really important. I get 2,500 XP. I think I can get 2,500 because of the wizards. Can you eco key on this one? Presumably, yes. I don't know of anything mechanics-wise that would prevent eco key from functioning the same way. Like, there's certainly enemies that have different placements, and so if it was like a different number of anti-fairies, or like they spawn a different spot, it could make a difference. But as far as I know, that's not a problem. Alright, blocks. Good enough! Definitely helps out. 200 more experience towards our level up. And I don't know how much the boss of Helmet Head Part 2 is worth. So I can't quite plan it out the exact same as I do on the US one, but I'm assuming it's like 500. Excuse me, horse. You'll definitely think that there's something weird here when you have a boss and then a wall, which you can walk through. US replaces that horse head with a regular blue iron knuckle, so it's like just a standard fight, and you might not think to investigate further. Biggest thing is you notice that the screen scroll is unusual because it's not like a normal screen boundary. Excellent. Wizard almost in the elevator, but we got him. I got the key. Yeah, we should be pretty good for the level up in the palace here. Even if I don't get any more mages, I think I've got enough. Speaking of which, what level do I want to get? It's better get Magic 6 here or Life 7. We should get both by the end of this palace. Go in 8, 6, 7 to Palace 6. Do I want 8, 7, 6 for the palace? I don't know if 8, 7, 6 saves me enough MP to get the extra cast and fairy. I'm gonna say 8, 6, 7 is what we're gonna get, and we'll pick up Magic 7 at the end of Palace 6. This will be 8, 7, 7 for Grand Palace. It's a lower level than I do the US release at. You just don't have as much experience to work with. Hey, Goth, welcome in. Hope you're having a good day here. Currently doing a Famicom run. I don't typically play this version of Zelda 2, but every once in a while I break it out for fun times. I'm watching Link's nose poke through the shield, and it's very distracting. Notice, yeah, I've been stuck at 82 minutes for a while, hoping that can get an improvement pretty soon. But what I found with this game is that playing through it, you tend to get like really stuck up for a little while, and then eventually just like a big breakthrough. That's like a 1 minute gain in there. So we'll see when the next one of those happens. Take that now. I'm gonna get Magic 6. The wizards pop out of nowhere, pretty much. You gotta have really quick reactions to get the wizards cleanly. They're gonna pop up, and you've gotta double tap down stab them before basically cross like one tile. Now, one of the nice things here is that if you tag a wizard, when he teleports, he stays flashing, so you know which one if there's more than one on the screen. And that helps you decide if you want to go after him. Just another fun little fact. Alright, time to knock his head off. Get back over here. Yeah, just not as fun as Guma. Just not as fun. Also remember that the splits are misleading because I have to pick up the container after this. Although it was still a really nice Palace 5. I'll take the magic level. See if that ends up making a difference in this or not. Wait a minute. I can't fairy pick it up. That's right. You need to stab in this version. Oh well. Curse you, sword. I was feeling so good about getting the fairy cast quick enough in there to be able to get the free fairy, and it's like, wait a minute. That doesn't actually help me. River Troll, rather than River Spider. We did not get the fence skip, so let's head through here. And on this one, I don't think the list offices are going to be all that useful. Unless I can get 4,000 experience by the end of the palace. Like, it's not completely outrageous. Like, there is a lot of XP that you can get in Palace 6 and beyond. It would get me 878 if I wanted it. Alright, good oomph. Let's make our way over to New Casto here. Don't think the fairy's gonna be as important when you can actually kill the spiders. So grab those. Grab you. I'm gonna skip this guy. Well, I think he is actually worth more experience in this version of the game. We'll hit it. And grab the spell. A spell so potent and so powerful that it simply is called what it is. Excuse me. Alright, well. That could have worked out better. So many things I'm not used to on this. Thing is, you don't actually need the refill there because since you can't fairy pick up the items, there is no benefit to having extra magic to spend on this one. You're gonna get the MP container at the end of the village, and that's all you need for the recovery. Still a very tall door, but not as good as the door in the US one. Here we go, we got our magic key. Let's grab the last one here. Need 3,500 experience in Palace 6 for a level up. Between all the bosses and mini-bosses, it's like 1,600. Got a couple of blue iron knuckles along the way. Those are worth 200 in this version rather than 150. It's still seeming like very close. At least I think Barba's 1,000 in this one. I'm actually not certain if she's still worth that much. Might only be like 500. Grab our magic container. And let's get out of here. Trying to work out the experience because I'm figuring out whether I should be killing things like the list offices along the way, or whether it's just not going to help. Key bags, that helps a bit. Turns a 100-point monster into a 200-point one. Give him a slip. Alright, so we got one encounter going this way so far. Two encounters, so about an average one for this trip. There's our heart container, and stand here for just a little bit, because otherwise the palace will despawn. I don't know why. You can hold down while playing the flute on the US version, and it's fine. But if you hold down on this version, the flute will play, and then you get no palace. It's like, where's my palace? Wizard, please. They are a lot thicker in this release, so you will definitely notice more Wizrobes placed around. Especially the Wizrobe infested hallways are an adventure. Can you please get after that? Yes. All it's doing is it just doesn't spawn the palace. Doesn't do like anything permanently bad to you. Got that guy off the screen. Feels weird with the different block textures, just trying to jump from the right spot. Let's horse around a bit. I think what happens with the flute is that it doesn't check if you're on the square until after it finishes playing. And so it might think that you're standing on the wrong square. Just a theory, I don't even know if that's correct, but I'm guessing at why it might be different. $1,600 experience here, okay? So get the refill. Alright, free jar. So we are good on magic. We are good on Wizrobes. Lots and lots of Wizrobes. And I'll see if I regret passing on the Doom Knocker. 2,400 is a lot to get, even though there is a bunch of stuff in this palace still to kill. There we go. Well, I just have to improvise on the Barba fight. I will be completely doing improv on that battle. So hopefully it goes okay. Shoot! Alright, dragon heads there were great. They're giving me this illusion of hope. Only I am certain to have it crushingly taken away. That elevator is down to the second penalty pit. You don't have the magic to ferry through Barbara's room. You get to ride the elevator of sadness. Alright, there's that iron knuckle done. Let's see how this works out. Well, unless Barbara's worth well over 1,000, I'm pretty sure that's not the case. We will not be getting a level up there. Get over here, you dragon. There's a lot of screaming. And there is some stabbing. The world's longest neck has been defeated. Alright, Palace 6 is done. So compared to Palace 4, we've picked up 10 seconds. Remember, we did things out of order, so 5 is a misleading split. Take life 7. 877 here. It's gonna be my final level. I usually have 878 in the US version, but that'll be a little bit more damage that we take from enemies. So the neck is both longer, not animated, and in a slightly different spot compared to the US one. So I'm sure there is some equivalent fast kill that I could do on it without having to jackhammer, but because I don't play this version all that much, I have to just totally improv it. And you know what? I thought it came out perfectly fine. The ultimate magic. No thank you, I've already got the spell. What more could I hope for? Alright, so we got our fence skip coming up. Patience, patience. Not enough patience! I thought that would be enough, but nope. We are going to have to go through here the hard way. So if you try to reset that encounter, the way the screen scrolls causes items to spawn and despawn in the game. And that red jar right there is very sensitive to that. So what you'll typically find is that, unless you scroll it back very precisely, that jar is just gone. And you'll definitely be sad about that. Because you lose your chance to make all these friends. Let's get what I set up there. Come on, monsters. Come on! They're being super shy here. There we go. Scorpion! Good Scorpion grind. There was a lot of grinding. Ooh, but then I got double hit by that guy. That's more health than I want to give up. Come on, you monsters! Not a great value death. I'll admit, that grind threw me off. It was more intense than I was expecting. And please wait for the Grand Palace. That's also very intense. Yep, tonight I am playing the Famicom version of Zelda 2 just for fun. I don't play this version all that often, so a lot of it is improv for the routing through it. Basically taking the US route and trying to guess what I should be doing for experience and a couple of the optional bits. But you know, so far, working out. Alright, we got some oomphs. I don't think I have well, shield is not going to do anything for me. Let's take the life. Get over here, Dragon Head. You two synced up a little bit better. There we go. Over and through. I don't know how we're doing because of the Valley of Death being kind of on the slow side. But a lot of stuff could happen in Palace 7. Okay, there's one of our lives. That gets me the refill there. Slightly different Dragon Head timing. Interesting to see that. Hey, Baron, welcome back. Alright, do I do safe chicken? Nah, he's up there in my face already. Let's do patient chicken. Oh, this would be a good spot to get some experience for some time back. Come on, chicken. It's actually worth real experience in this version. Unlike the US release where the blue and red chicken knights are worth basically nothing. Where's this guy going? Now, I think I got hit by him. It's impossible to tell if you've lost magic, and this really sucks because you don't know if you have enough magic to fight Thunderbird now. Like, do I take another death to be safe? And if I have, then I can do this. Unfortunately, that means I've lost my bonus life to make Dark Link easier. Hey, David, welcome in. Well, let's grab the hug. Let's hopefully grab a good Thunderbird. We got one shot at Dark Link. Oh, the screaming. I played Thunderbird cautiously so I wouldn't have as much health down. Usually like to go a little bit more aggressive on him. But let's see how Dark Link goes. I'm going to try the slightly revised strats from the US one, rather than just wailing away. We'll see if that works. But you might have to go toe-to-toe when that gets messy. Alright, good so far. One more. Nice, Dark Link. 127.48. Picked up some time there in Palace 7. Nice. Real nice. Thank you for the juice, everybody.